From the National Weather Service in Raleigh, it's Nick Petro with your routine Monday morning weekly briefing for Central North Carolina that covers the period today through the 21st of February. Thanks for joining. And let's start with a quick look at current conditions, as I like to do here. And we're going to start kind of zoomed out because it's just amazing just how cold it is across such a large portion of the country. You could see all the way down through, well, of course, we've been hearing on the news, the national news, about all the bad weather, even down to Texas and the cold readings and the wintry weather that's spreading across the Mississippi and eventually the Ohio Valley. For us, we're on the warm side of things, despite temperatures in the 30s. Relatively speaking, that's pretty warm. And certainly compared to places west of the mountains. So in case you're wondering, well, is all that mess headed our way? And the good news is the low pressure area appears like it's going to stay to, well, of course it appears, but I mean, all the models are showing it staying to our west, which means we will remain on the warm side of this event through tonight. So now that brings a little bit of concern, and I'll touch on that as well, but more in the way of a thunderstorm concern than winter weather concern. The good news in the meantime, it looks like, as we zoom in closer to home, it looks like we do have all the readings there above 32 across all of central North Carolina. So when this system in its rain, which again is not far away, it's, let me turn off the color coding and you could see all the precipitation involved with this system. Eventually when all this weather makes its way northeastward and this rain gets into our area, it's going to be warm enough for all rain. In fact, with readings, and we're not expecting temperatures to fall really, because ahead of this system, there's a nice flow of southerly air. And, as I always say, when the wind comes in from the south, what's it do? It warms up. So anyway, in fact, overnight tonight, we may have temperature readings actually even go up. So anyway, but before the front comes through, but the brunt of the cold air, when the front does make it through, the mountains are going to block the coldest of the air. So we're not really going to get into this air mass here, which is good news. Okay. In the meantime, look how cloudy it is. I mean, this is just kind of just a nasty day. There's no sunshine to be found anywhere across the Carolinas or mid-Atlantic. So it's just kind of not really that nice of a day. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the forecast slides here. So as I kind of alluded to, damp, foggy weather the rest of today, and then turning wet tonight. Maybe a few strong thunderstorms tonight. I'll touch on that here in just a minute. And then after a wet start to Tuesday, the sun may finally come out during the afternoon. And a much needed sunny day is on tap for Wednesday. Thank goodness. Okay, then the next vigorous storm system, which is yet to form, but is forecast to develop in the western Gulf of Mexico midweek, will affect our area Wednesday night through early Friday. Now, this particular event, there could be enough cold air in place across the northern Piedmont up by the Virginia border, and I hate to say it again, the same places that got slammed with the heavy icing a few days ago. That's going to be the favorable area yet again for another round of light freezing rain early Thursday morning before it changes to rain. And then south of 85, it should be all rain elsewhere. So, almost the same areas. The system a couple days ago, if you got rain, you're going to get rain on the Thursday system. If you got some ice, a few days ago, you're in the area that could see a light coating of ice before it changes to rain. I don't think it's going to stay ice as long as it did the last time. So I don't think ice accumulation amounts are going to be as high. And again, we're talking about the Thursday morning situation. Okay, so So right now, that's the way things are shaping up. Of course, we're going to be keeping our eyes on that, and you'll want to stay tuned. And of course, we will be sending out updated briefings as we head through the week, as we always do. So definitely check our website, weather.gov/Raleigh, or tune into your email if you're on our email list for these updated briefings, and we'll keep you posted. And then once that system gets out of here on Friday, or by Friday, early Friday, it'll be dry and chilly this weekend, but we should see some sunshine. So I will take that for sure, with the high pressure sitting over us over the weekend. All right, so that's the way things, the key points. Now let me get into a little bit more detail, because the first detail I want to hit is the rainfall amount. Because aside from that brief break late tomorrow and Wednesday, generally we're staying in a wet weather pattern that could give us up to 3 inches of rain by the time you add it up through the week. We're going to get some light rain, maybe half-inch amounts tonight, but the real soaker is going to be the Thursday event. And certainly we could see, between both of those events, 3 additional inches of rainfall. Now, that said, there are several of our main stem rivers that are basically in flood. So, for example, the Neuse River at Smithfield is experiencing minor flooding, the southern portion of the Cape Fear River is seeing some flooding, and other rivers are getting close, like up on the Tar River. And so the current observations are on the left. The forecast is on the right, and you'll see that sure enough, the Tar River at Tarboro is forecast to go into moderate flooding, and then we're going to have, as I said, it's already flooding at Smithfield, the Neuse River, that is, but we are expecting Goldsboro to go into minor flooding as well. So if you want to look at the actual hydrographs and see just how high that water is going to get, if you want to see observations, it's the link below this map on the left, and forecasts are it's the link below the image on the right. Okay, so that's eventually all this rain had to at some point lead to some river flooding. So anyway, that's kind of key event number one. The key event number two I want to point your attention to is severe thunderstorm potential, and we don't have to worry about anything in terms of thunderstorm potential Tuesday or Wednesday, but let me zoom in on the severe risk area for tonight. And you'll see that the yellow area is what we call level 2 out of 5. Okay, that's slight risk. And we have a level 1 out of 5 for the darker green. And the light green just means that thunderstorms are possible. Okay, but basically, from Raleigh eastward, or from the I-95 corridor eastward, is where we think that 1 or 2 of those thunderstorms tonight could become severe. Now, when I say severe, I'm talking mainly a large hail threat. Okay, but there could be a locally damaging wind gust, but I'd say large hail is our biggest concern along the I-95 corridor. And that would occur between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. tonight. So don't be surprised if you're woken up in the middle of the night tonight with some claps of thunder. And again, that'll be mainly from the I-95 corridor eastward, maybe as far back as Raleigh. But again, on the scale 0 to 5, 1 just means isolated thunderstorms, isolated severe, that is. But just nevertheless, make sure your weather radio is turned on so you can get our warnings if we indeed have to issue any. Okay? All right, in terms of flash flooding, despite the wet forecast right now, we don't anticipate that it'll come down hard enough for flash flooding. But obviously, we're pretty wet, the ground's pretty soaked, and if that changes, obviously we'll let you know. All right, so that's kind of the main takeaways. The 3 main points are, in terms of hazards, are the river flooding, the thunderstorms tonight, and then the possibility for a very light period, very brief period, that is, of light freezing rain along and north of 85 Thursday before changing to rain. So there you have it. Again, damp and foggy weather rest of today, turning wet tonight with perhaps a few strong thunderstorms. A wet start tomorrow, but the sun will be out by afternoon finally. And then a much needed sunny day on Wednesday to hopefully melt any, well, most of the ice should be gone from the last event up along the Virginia border. But if there's any last few pieces of ice sticking to some trees or power lines, that should all melt by Wednesday for sure with the sun. And then the next vigorous storm system coming from the western Gulf of Mexico will come in here Wednesday night through Friday. And as I mentioned, it could begin as a period of light freezing rain along north of 85 Thursday before changing to rain and then all rain elsewhere. So we'll bring you updates as we head through the week. Good news is it'll be dry this weekend, albeit a little bit on the chilly side. So anyway, we got a couple things to deal with as we head through this week. But as always, we'll keep you posted and we'll update slides and briefings and if needed, we'll do additional webinars. But at least you could at least expect some PowerPoint slide like we have here as we head through the week. So that's your Monday morning briefing for Central North Carolina here on this 15th of February, 2021.